Hi, Susan here. Let's do another episode of Summer School. Let's talk about the drafting process for fashion designers, and that's what's next. Hi guys, so I want to continue my summer school process and vlogs that are going to continue all summer long to prepare you to being a fashion designer, whether you go to a university or not. I want to give you a heads up on some of the beginning courses you're going to be wanting to take or will be taking as a fashion designer in a university level, and or what you're going to need to know to become a fashion designer if you do it elsewhere. So I want to first say, if you love these videos, please give me a thumbs up, share them with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, because I have a ton of videos on how to, and also explanations of the fashion design industry and interviews. All right, so let's get started. So the drafting process. I will say before that the dreaded drafting process, because it is not something that most fashion designers really love to do. That's more of a skill of a trained pattern maker who works in a fashion design company and helps them make their patterns. But as a fashion designer, to be as a more of a creative individual, they like to work more on the body. So I used mannequins mostly. That is what I love to do, but I want to give you the basics. There are 3 ways to make a pattern. The first way that I love the most, and that is using muslin, which is this base fabric, and draping over the body of your mannequin and getting that fit that way with your design or with your base pattern or block or sloper. The second way is using slopers, which is the 5-piece sloper set that I have here, and manipulating them on paper on the flat to making new designs. The third way is the drafting process. That is the process of using measurements and numbers and calculations in order to develop either your base patterns, your slopers, or a design. And so those are the 3 ways that you need to make a pattern. You can combine the 3 ways. Sometimes I use a drafting process with a draping process, or to make it quick, I'll just do flat pattern and then draft something separately on that. You can combine some of these processes if you need to. But what I like to say the most is that it is very important, if you're going to go on and have your own manufacturing company, that you develop your own slopers. They're going to teach you in school, the very first lessons, maybe the first semester, you're going to have to take a drafting class. It's going to probably be a drafting class on how to make a sloper. Believe it or not, these are my slopers from school. All right, they were treasured and they were dear to me, and they were made on this very small mannequin right over here. Believe it or not, back then I was barely a 32 bust, so God knows what happened as you get older. This is my basic 8 form, which is mostly what I would use in the industry and where I developed my very good blocks or slopers. Okay, once you say pattern block, then it's considered a pattern. That means it has seam allowance and it's probably a style. If you say sloper, there is no seam allowance. It's the base of the body measurements. It's the guts of the mannequin or the body that you're measuring, and with a tiny bit of ease that makes up the design or the basic shapes of the dress, meaning bodice, skirt, and straight sleeve. And that's what I have here. The skirt, the bodice, front and back, and the straight sleeve. That is the basic 5-piece sloper set that I'm going to stress and stress and stress. So when I taught university level fashion design, I taught with some of these books, and this is one of the ones that I did. And we had to, and it's a good book for pattern making, not so much for the drafting process. That's why I'm not going to actually show you the drafting process, because I'm not thrilled with the calculations or what they use for this. This is just, and this will show you in the book, and it'll show you my notes there as well, that these drafting measurements and calculations all come from either a base standard measurement chart that I have here, I already have problems with this measuring chart, but this is 30 years of experience and not liking certain measurements because I know already what the American woman's body is, or the normal body for a woman in our day and age. So you'll have this measurement chart here that you will have, and then it will show you there's also the measurement process of how many measurements you have to take in order to do that, and then it tells you how to basically do it with the mapping out process. I did it here. I actually did it for you guys just so you can see that here is that process that I did for you. And the reason why I'm not showing you is because I'm not keen on the shape of it. If you'll see my measurements here, this is the front bodice here, and this is the back bodice. And if I put my sloper onto the front bodice, you'll see that there's many discrepancies. Here's my neckline here. Doesn't really follow where it needs to be. The slope of the neck, the slope of the armhole is completely different. And then it also doesn't, this is way too too high, and of course the waist measurement is wrong. So this has been tweaked. In other words, I have worked with slopers that are done mathematically like this, and I'm not trying to slash them or say that they're not good, but it's very, very hard to use those type of calculated measurements and get something that works on a form or on a body perfectly, because there's nuances with a body. Here is my back, and you can see it also doesn't follow all of it. It's close, but it's not the same. So I have, like I said, I've developed my sloper set that solves this problem for you. It is 30 years of experience and tweaking to know exactly what measurements are needed if you're going to be using actual models, or if you're going to be shipping these garments, so you need to make them a little bit longer in the waist, and how much do you need in the waist and all of that. I have tweaked them, guys, so it solves all the problems and all the guessworks of all the nuances and all the problems that you will have from just straight drafting. So if you want to get that sloper set, the link to my website will be in my description box, and you can purchase my 5-piece sloper set actually from my website. But just showing you, this is the drafting process. Things that's very important that's going to have changes per body or per mannequin would be where the apexes or the bust points going to lie, where the slope of the shoulder is going to be, where the actual end of where the armhole is going to be. These are things that I've learned after being in the industry for many, many years that I have corrected. But it is good to understand the drafting process. It's good to be able to map it out and to understand how to take measurements and how to take calculations and where to put the calculations. So the process of drafting is very, very important. And I do have drafting classes also on my YouTube channel. I'll link those. I have one for the perfect pant. And I also have, if you're going to be draping the perfect bodice on the 8 form, I have that in my Patreon account, which is my small subscription base for fashion design in French draping. So just to give you if you do want me to get or calculate a very, very good formula that I'm happy with, that I can show you in a drafting process, let me know that in the description box and I'll try to develop that for you. But to do this one and to show you this particular one that I'm not completely happy with was a waste of time. So I just wanted to talk about the process. So there you go, guys. This is the drafting process. It is a necessity as a fashion designer to understand and to learn, but it is not an essential to actually having your manufacturing company, because you can have people do that for you if you want to, or if you prefer the other 2 processes of making a pattern, you can use those 2 different processes instead. It's whatever you're strong in, whatever your skill set is stronger in, that you're going to want to do as a designer if you're doing it all on your own. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you love it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share these with your friends. Continue watching because I have another episode of Summer School coming next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.